Nostalgia is an affectionate feeling you have for the past, especially for a particular happy time, or that is at least the definition according to the wiki page. What does this have to do with my review for Planet Coaster? Well, one of the earliest and happiest memories I have for gaming is the time I spent with Theme Park as well as Theme Park World. It was around the time one of the biggest theme parks had opened close to my area, and I had very fond memories of being at theme parks and spending time playing a game, doing my absolute best to replicate the local theme park. Fast forward to 2016 and you have Planet Coaster, a game heavily inspired by Theme Park as well as the more recent Roller Coaster Tycoon titles. It is a game that puts you in the seat of running your very own theme park. It isn't often that a game has me hooked the moment I run it, but Planet Coaster had me at the opening song and the easy to navigate main menu, which not only has a unique artistic look to it, but also shows the community from around the world, which immediately makes you feel connected to the rest of this cheerful and incredibly talented community. Now I'll be honest, even though Planet Coaster came out in 2016, it wasn't until recent when I really dived into this game along with a handful of DLC, so many of the game's initial bugs and issues I cannot really touch on because I didn't experience those issues over time. Frontier, the same developers who made Jurassic World Evolution as well as the more recent Planet Zoo, did a fantastic job at delivering the most authentic and realistic theme park builder that I've ever experienced. That doesn't mean everything was smooth sailing though, as the game can be incredibly intimidating at first if you don't follow some tutorials. It easily took me a couple of hours to really learn the ins and outs of the game, and I even had to watch a few videos on coaster building to really understand how I can fully customize certain aspects, as I feel the lack of a tutorial level are something this game really required. That said, the game does come with levels which almost acts as some sort of campaign mode, as well as a sandbox mode, the latter being an empty space which you can just create the park of your dreams with unlimited cash. Map of your preference, a visitor's entrance, and the rest is up to you. As mentioned, the freedom and canvas it gives you is very overwhelming at first because there's just so much you can do. I'd recommend going through some tutorial levels and watching a few videos of tutorials before diving into sandbox mode. The more you play though, the easier it becomes as you start learning shortcut keys and quickly add or change paths depending on the ride, and at first I wasn't too bothered about customizing the colors or patterns of my rides as I wanted to nail the basics of the game and wasn't too interested in changing the visual aspects just yet. Speaking of visuals, Planet Coaster has a unique visual style that fits the game perfectly. The rides, environment, and everything related to the park has a very realistic aspect to it, but Frontier opted to create people in a cartoonish manner, which at first does seem a bit odd, but eventually I got used to that look and it doesn't distract too much from the overall feel of the game. With all the bells and whistles turned up to full, the game is a beautiful masterpiece. Thankfully, I do have a powerful system, but I can see this game chugging along on lower end systems, so it is something to consider. I did, however, run into a few system crashes during my playtime, but I didn't lose too much progress, and considering what I learned during those 30 minutes or so, I was able to rebuild the stuff much quicker. It was still a little bit annoying though. Planet Coaster has a huge amount of themes, from pirates to space, western to more modern, and even Ghostbusters if you purchased that particular DLC. Speaking of DLC, Planet Coaster is currently sitting with around 9 DLC packs, give or take, ranging from the aforementioned Ghostbusters to Back to the Future, classic rides, Spooky Pack, Knight Rider, and much more. They vary in prices, and most of them add more content to the game aside from Ghostbusters, which adds some sort of level that lets you play as the characters themselves. However, with the incredible amount of support and DLC this game has received since launch, I may have to do a separate video talking about each DLC pack individually. When it comes to the UI, it is something Frontier has also managed incredibly well. Everything is laid out easy enough for you to figure out, and it doesn't fill the screen like some previous park simulators does. In fact, I feel the UI is extremely clean and makes you really feel as if you're a visitor in the park. You can even ride your own rides, choose which seat you want to sit, and enjoy the custom coasters you built or that you downloaded from the community. I cannot tell you how many times I've downloaded coasters from the Steam workshop only to ride them myself. Makes me wonder if there is some sort of VR mod for this game. That would be something. The audio is also on par with the fantastic visuals as pirate songs complement the theme and ghostly noises jump from the rides as you can create custom triggers for your roller coasters. Over the 3 years since the launch of the game, much has changed in terms of bug fixes, gameplay improvements, and DLC, but the game remained fun. I did mention that I didn't play this at launch, and to be frank, that has to be one of the biggest mistakes. I wish I could have seen this game transition from what it was to what it is today. Nevertheless, if you're a new player, then it is definitely a perfect time to jump in, especially with all of the content that is included with this game. Nostalgia is an affectionate feeling you have for the past, especially for a particular happy time. Why do I repeat this line that was said in the beginning? Because that is what I feel when playing Planet Coaster. It feels like a happy time. Perhaps it is because it's a change from all of the over-the-top shooters and gory games out there today, but it generally feels relaxing playing this game aside from the stress of managing your own park. But playing Planet Coaster with a cup of coffee is a fantastic time, and I cannot wait to jump back in to complete more levels. The levels essentially require you to complete certain tasks, such as building or researching rides, making a certain amount of guests happy, or reaching a certain number within your park. There is no real story mode, unfortunately, but this is a great way of challenging yourself and learning the ropes, as previously mentioned. I may not have said much negative things about the game, but there are very little. Aside from the steep learning curve and the minor bugs or glitches I experienced, Planet Coaster in 2019 is well worth the purchase, and had I put a score on this, then I'd easily give it a 9 out of 10. With the game coming to consoles in 2020, I'd be curious to see how it translates to the consoles, and it's never been a better time to play Planet Coaster. I'd like to thank Frontier for providing me with the review key for this game as well as some of the DLC, and if you enjoyed my content, then why not check out the rest of my channel. If you liked this video, then give me a thumbs up. If you dislike it, then give me a thumbs down, but please tell me why so I can improve my videos. My name is Frank, I'm the RedTieGuy, and frankly, thank you for watching. Catch you guys in the next video.